The Curse of Osiris DLC for Destiny 2. Of course, a lot of you have been asking what my thoughts are on this DLC, even though it's not out. I can't really give a full-fledged opinion of the DLC, but generally I'm excited because it's new content, and no matter what, Destiny 2 definitely needs more. And having this content being released in December is a good thing. So that's pretty much majority of that, but I have something bigger that I want to talk about. But before then, I want to just talk about why am I excited? Well, because actually I didn't play Destiny 1 vanilla that much. I actually quit the game fairly early. Like, I pretty much put the game away in, I think, October. I stopped playing it. And I went back, I would say January or February, and that was when I returned. And of course, that was when the Crota's End DLC was out, and I was enjoying the game a little bit more. So I'm hoping that this new content will give me that same feeling that I had with the Crota's End DLC, even though the Crota's End DLC was actually not that great in content. I really do hope that this DLC will not follow that path of the Crota's End DLC and do something more. So that's something that I'm very hopeful for this DLC. Plus, I'm really excited about learning about Osiris himself. I hope that there's enough story to really explain about him and everything, and it's not just like, there's no time to explain, read the Grimoire thing. Oh wait, I forgot, they don't have Grimoire. It's part of like exotics and stuff now. So, I hope that there's a lot of story inside of the DLC, because I'd like to know more about Osiris, not just this person came around, he's a dude, he's important, and that's it. Now, the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's a rant, but it's maybe not as bad for a lot of you, but it is to me in the sense of how you treat your fans, your consumers that are purchasing a product and also getting the DLC. So there's been a lot of screenshots, a lot of footage about the DLC already out there, and what I've noticed was a lot, and I don't mean just like one or two. I was seeing a lot of very visually similar weapons from D1, like exotics, like Telesto. People were saying that this thing look like Thorn or Touch of Malice, and like a Last Word. Apparently, people were saying Jade Rabbit, Graviton Lance. I think that was the helmet for the Night Stalker. But with all these things, why would this be concerning? Because a lot of you are probably like, well, nostalgia, I'm really excited to use Jade Rabbit in this DLC. It's coming back. That's the thing. We are spending money on this DLC. And one good portion of the DLC is its exotics. And in the Crota's End DLC, there was 13 new exotics. And I mean fully new, because obviously they weren't going to take anything from the vanilla Destiny and already be like, nostalgia, because that wouldn't make any sense. So what I'm seeing in these screenshots and stuff is concerning to me, because it shows zero creativity, and it has me afraid of the future of Destiny overall. We're just in the sequel, and not only that, we're in DLC 1, and I'm seeing a lot of D1 stuff going forward. Now, this won't be entirely bad. I'm excited about having weapons from D1 go forward, but personally, I don't want them at all, because that was the point of this game, was a sequel. We were not going to be able to transfer anything. Gaul destroyed everything. Why are we getting these things that Gaul destroyed? I don't understand that. But I've been getting a lot of mixed opinions on this. Of course, some people that agree with me, but a lot of people that also disagree. I mean, I understand that there's nostalgia to these weapons, but I'm going to just say this. Destiny 1 just was out. Like, it's not that old. I would understand if it's been like 8 years or something. and we get the Suros or something in Destiny 4 or whatever, like for vanilla Destiny 4. I would understand that. But in this case, it feels like they're being lazy and not taking advantage of having new creative ideas, and that's what I'm primarily afraid of. I'm spending money on this DLC. I do not want to spend money on something I already spent money on. Like, these weapons, I'm pretty sure at least, we just see what they look like, and they look exactly like D1 weapons. But I can't say for sure that the perks will stay the same, but I'm pretty sure they will, because Mida pretty much was the same. Same thing with Hardlight, except for Hardlight, it had a little bit of a twist to it where you can change the burn on one, which, that was interesting. I like something new to them too. But, of course, again, like Mida, there was nothing different about it. It was just the Mida. That was it. Now, why would I not be concerned? Well, because, again, I said 13 new exotics in the Crota's End DLC. If there is at least, I would say 12, or 11 new, and I mean completely new exotics, combined, armor and weapons, new, in this Curse of Osiris DLC, not including the D1 exotics pushing forward, then I'll be fine, because I'm going to look at these D1 exotics as extra. And that's how it should be. These things should be free, because, again, I've already paid for these things, and I don't want to just have 5 new exotics, or even 8. Like, no, these are not new, sorry to tell you, unless you're changing the perks overall. And of course, I want to respond to a lot of negative opinions towards this. So one of them two things that I've been told. The first was this, and I get this a lot. It's hard to develop games and be creative. You get a job working at Bungie and you think of interesting designs for weapons, as in designs, not the perks. And I'm sorry to tell you, they should hire the community then, because it's all over the place. Millions of ideas of different designs. It's not hard to make something fresh and new, even if you take a weapon from D1 and put a spin on it. It's not hard. It really isn't, especially if it's your job. I'm sorry to tell you, but I would understand this for a standpoint of someone being creative in a sense of like just making something for fun. But when it's your job, no, that's unacceptable. There's millions of fan-made exotics out there. So telling me that it's hard to design one is very, very flawed. Now, after that, I've of course got another one to try and exit out my opinion and say that I'm stupid, understand what Bungie's dealing with, was you think of fun, interesting, new, and balanced, important thing, balanced perks for exotics. New. Because I said I wanted new exotics, and of course that means new designs, and that means new perks. I don't want just the same perks from Destiny 1. But that is also flawed. Reason why is because these 2 exotics, and I'll put them on the screen, are perfect examples. These 2, Sunshot and Vigilance Wing. Now, why are these relevant to what I'm talking about? Well, 1, their designs are different, but the perks are not really new. Vigilance Wing is basically Red Death, in a way, because you heal, not on kills, like Red Death. Red Death, you get a kill, your shields recharge. Vigilance Wing is when your allies nearby die, and you get a health regen. You get your shields regenerated. Sunshot, I mean, it's got explosive rounds, and it explodes enemies on kills. It seems like to me like a Fatebringer Necrochasm mix. They took things from D1, technically, and made something interesting with it. They don't have to make something new. They can take something from D1 and put a spin on it. I mean, Sweet Business is like the fact that it's like almost like the Suros, where it gets faster and faster the longer you shoot it, but it's completely a new weapon. There's things that were in the perk list of D1 that is also in D2, but people don't really notice it that much because they are They feel new. That's why I'm saying that I want people to understand that to not stand by and just let companies do this to you, because you're spending money on this stuff. If you like it, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you to hate the DLC. I'm still excited. This is the only thing that I have negative about to say about this DLC so far with what I've seen. And I could be wrong, because there could be enough Destiny 2 new exotics where the D1 exotics that are pushing forward are just extras. But it's not really hard to take exotics from D1 and push it forward. I mean, yes, they're going to have to try and balance it a bit and whatever, change it in some shape or form, but there's none of that new creative developing and stuff in there, like compared to what they were doing with like Sunshot and Vigilance Wing. Again, I'm not expecting completely new weapons. They can do, I mean, I can't think of anything on the top of my head, but I mean, I feel like they could do something interesting that would be balanced, but also would be fun. And of course, this is why when people say, well, it's really hard to make fun and balanced exotics that work for both PvP and PvE. That's why I wish that they would change damage, like with weapons and stuff, especially exotics, from PvE and PvP. Like just completely split them. Not completely to the way where the certain perks change when you go to different game modes, but where the weapon has a certain damage change to make certain effects. Like if there was, for example, a sniper that was like no land, where it was like a bolt action where you get one bullet, it's one shot, but it's ridiculously powerful. I can't even speak. It's like a laser beam or something, like a straight laser shot, and it does a giant explosion or something. But when you go into PvP, it's just a straight shot, and it will go through like enemies or something, but it doesn't do the giant explosion. Maybe they change the perk a little bit, or does it do the giant explosion? I don't know. Like maybe the effect of the explosion's there, but it doesn't really do anything. I don't know. There is ways to be creative with new exotics, and I hope that this is not the norm if they're going the way that I don't want them to, which is where most of the exotics that they're selling us, because again, we're buying this DLC, is Destiny 1 exotics that we've played with many times. We don't want them returning. We don't at all. But that's literally all I have to say that's negative, and it's not really that big, to be honest. It's just, I want new exotics. That doesn't mean that everything else in there might be interesting and exciting and new and whatever. I want enough content, though, for each DLC. Like, I want more strikes. I don't want any of this PlayStation exclusive bull crap anymore with strikes, because this is real content. I mean, I'm getting really tired of that, where they go, oh, well, PlayStation gets this new strike and this new PvP map every DLC, because then it makes the Xbox feel like there's not much new content, and that's not really fair. Same thing for PC now. It's not really fair, and Sony really needs to get over themselves with this whole shit. I know that they want to be first in line, but ruining the community is not a thing. Like, don't do that. This game is on multiple platforms, more than just Xbox and PlayStation now. It's on PC, so I really don't want to see any of this stinginess for every DLC. I'm fine with them doing like one PvP map or an exotic or whatever, I guess. But strikes, no, because there's not many strikes to begin with, and I don't want to see this nonsense keep going on where strikes are cut to be a PlayStation exclusive. But that's it. That's all I have to say. I want to know your thoughts too, though, in the comments down below. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you disagree? And do you think that this DLC will be interesting? Do you think that it'll be a long enough story? Do you think it will have a story? Do you think it'll be better than the Crow to Zen DLC, like the first DLC in Destiny 1? Or do you think that it's going to be just like that and just add a little bit new twists to the to the whole game, like the end game and everything, just like Crota's End did. I don't know, but I want to know your thoughts. But either way, thank you so much for listening. Chibi out.